The Coddling of the American Mind, a book by Greg Lukianoff and Jonathan Hayden, is a book basically discussing how American culture today, mostly children and young adults, why we're so susceptible and so fragile when it comes to opposition in life, and why we're such a weaker generation. It part has to do with our upbringing, but it also has part to do with our own reactions and our own responses to things. I found it really interesting when Greg was talking about what doesn't kill you makes you weaker. And I thought it was really interesting is when you don't face opposition, when you don't face things in life that are going to push you and that are going to try to break you, then you're just going to go through life wrapped in bubble wrap, and you're never going to go anywhere. You're never going to grow. You're never going to deepen as a person. And I think that's really interesting because I think a lot of parents nowadays, especially for millennials, back in the 90s, were very much like, I don't want to push them. I don't want to push the kid off into the pool because I don't want to damage them. I don't want to hurt them. And I think a lot of that can really, like I said, put bubble wrap around the kid, and the kid can never grow and learn, oh, life isn't always easy. I'm not always going to be protected in life. And so I really think that's how we got to this place. And I think a lot of times of these mainstream colleges like UC Berkeley, when Ben Shapiro was there, and all of these liberals were freaking out and were losing their mind just because he was there trying to talk. I think that's a great example of what the Coddling of the American Mind talks about, how we're so fragile now to things that we don't like, or things that push us, and that things that we're not used to hearing. And I think nowadays it's maybe even worse than it was in the 90s, as Greg was talking about. I think nowadays parents are even more likely to not push their children. They don't want to hurt them. They just want to let them be their own person and keep them in this safe bubble that is the family. And I think that's not helpful. I think I was really grateful for my upbringing, that my parents pushed me, that my parents really allowed me to grow as a person and strengthen as a member of society. Lastly, to think about what the church can do in this scenario, I think that the church can really come around parents and say, hey, we can really support your kids. We can really help with youth programs. I think really engaging with topics sometimes, so especially with young adults, so like with UC Berkeley, when they were really freaking out that this conservative Republican was coming to talk at the college. I think something that churches can really do is to engage in these topics and say, hey, let's talk about this, and let's not shy away from these things. Let's not completely avoid talking about these heavy topics. I think the church can really do a good purpose of seeing this divide, of seeing this emptiness, and filling that void and filling that emptiness, and saying, hey, let's engage in these topics. Let's be strong. Let's not be fragile. Let's not be like a glass cup or like a glass ceramic bowl that when it falls on the ground it breaks. Let's be something stronger. Let's be like metal. Let's be something that supports these kids. And I think it's something the church can really do well in now, and I think that's something that the church in the last 10 years has really done a good job of, and I think that we can continue to grow, because I don't see anything positive happening in the future. And I think Greg even talks about this now, is that if we keep this cycle going of not pushing our children, of not pushing each other, of kind of living in this safe bubble, this safe space where we don't have to meet things that we don't like, or we don't have to hear things that disagree with us. I think if we keep going in that direction, we're going to come up with a generation of vegetables, of people that don't do anything. And I think that's really, really dangerous. And I think especially as Christians, we should really be opposing that very strongly, because we do have a mission. There is something greater there, and we can't go through life just expecting everything to cater to us and cater to our will. So that is The Coddling of the American Mind. I think it's a great book by Greg, and I think I really enjoyed it. I loved reading it, and I look forward to engaging with this topic more in the future. Thank you so much.